Hello everyone, we have to discuss about the MPPSC men's answer writing. Question number 1. Digestive system. The process of the conversions and of the complex food and material into the simple absorptions food and takes places not required and in the sense and white and organs. 1. Salivary glands. Parts of mouth and buric cavities and oral part and release the saliva. And salivary glands and sub the linguised salivary glands and sub the mandibular salivary glands. The Rigvedic gods addressed and in the Suktas and of the Rigvedic period, Agni and god of the fires, and Indras and warriors, god and Shamas, plants and from which the special drinks and prepared Mitra and Varun. Kulap. Head of the family, also known as the Grihapatis, and means the head of the Griha. Kula and Griha head. Kulapa and Grihapati. Simulations, expressions, and of the job painters provide the fairness and with the physical equipment that the resembles and to some the degrees equipment that is to be used and on job. It is the initiations of reals and both opera hills and which is the help in the everyone's real life and situation. How administrative management plays important role in the organization. It is involved creating other formal structures, defining the responsibilities and the dividing labors across apartment to the facilitate success and for the organization, maintaining healthy finance and increase the productivity and goals achievement, silence and employment satisfactions and data driven decisions. Therefore, and it is can be the said and that the administration's management. Thus, above paints and play an important role in the organics and also the satisfied administrative management activities. Question. Describe the political organization in the age of the Rig Vedas and to what extent and was it the tribals in the characters. The administrative machineries and worked well with the tribals chiefs in the centers and Grams villages had and the Gramini and Kulas and Grihas families had Kulpatis and the Grihapatis and Vishupatis head of the many villages and the Rajar head of Jana, priest Purohit and Senani commander. Rajan leaders and the protections of the tribes and he didn't the exercise and unlimited powers because there were the tribal councils like the Savas and Samitis and which shows the Rajans and was not the they were the elected by the assembly. Gramini used to the present the villages in the Savas and the Samiti and women also the attend the replacement Graminis and the Prajapati groups of villages, larger units in which headed by the Pashupatis and the numbers of the wish and together called the Janas or tribes and who leads the Janas and Rajan. Panch Janas, 5 Janas or the 5 tribes Aryans and the descent Yadu and Puru and the Druhu, Anu and the Turvas and Spy were the employed and to keep eyes on the social activities. There was no the revenge systems and tribes were the made by the voluntary tribes on the wealth collection through the battles. Question number 3. Describe the materials life of the later Vedic period and how was it is the difficult from the Rig Vedic period, Vedic life. Aryans moved the easternwards and to the Gangetic valleys and water later Vedic text and were the complied in the 1600 BC and the Sam Vedas, Yajur Vedas, other Vedas and the Samhitas and compassed along with the Arankas and the Upanishad. 15 consists as the later Vedic period. Puru and the Panchal strongest at the time after the Mahabharata and wars. Puru and the Panchal decline Koshal Kashi and come into the prominent after that the Kuru and the migrated to Koshambi Koshals to Kashi and to the Videha. More than 500 habitants other than the Gangetics basics and wear the painted grey and wear the cultures and used the eastern earthen and bows and diseases. Disease the exhibited and from the Hastinapurs and Maneshwars and the Alam, Girpur and the Atrangi Khedas and found for the types of the poetry black and red, black orchid and painted colors. Whole settled is divided into three parts and Arya Vedas and northern India's Madhya Bharat and central India and Dati Singh Nath. But southern India agriculture. Iron was used in clearing the forest. Agriculture was the primitive. Satpat Brahman speaks about the flooring rituals and Krishna's and Balrams and were also the part of the plugging activities Vedic period. Vedic pupils cultivated and weed the godhams. 24 axes used in the pluck and rise the brihis used in the rituals. The rise of the new arts and the craft and led to the productions and trade and the Vaishyas and commanders. Nisco used for the coins and the Kushidin's money and funding the process and taxation started use the Nagar coast. Used the Nagar work and from 1000 BC and onwards iron took the cast and stand. In the economic as it's different and from the Rig Vedic period use of the postal land it is limited. In the Rig Vedic times cow was the prominent and but in the later Vedic period and cow the prominent was the declines. In Rig Vedic times and bronze weapons and used and the irons. Smith also highly skilled and but in the later Vedic period and iron used in the century of economy. Ben's answer writing section A. Purush Sukta is mentioned in the 10th and models and the Rig Vedas for the describes and about the four Varnas, Brahmins, Kashyas, Vaishyas and Sudras. Shruti later meanings is hard and it is the Vedic literature and it is by the Sant and from the Supreme God. E.g. Vedas and Code Diji. Unsigned sites of the Indus Valley Civilization. Location Pakistan, Sindh regions. And Code Diji, India. Bogach Koi Abhilekh. It is the support Bogach Koi Abhilekh. Bogach Koi inscriptions. It is supported the Central Asia's theories of the marks and mullahs related to the origins of the Aryans and for the it is the mentioned and four gods of Aryans and Indras, Varuns and Mitras and Nashatyas. Sapt Sindhus. Mentioned in the Nadi Sutras and in the Vedic and period Punjab in the known as the Sapta Suryas and land of the seven rivers the Sindhu and the Saraswati, Bees, Jayas, Jhelum, Satluj, Ravi or Chenab. Cell division explain the mitosis and cell division in detail. Process well are the cell divisions to forms the daughters. Shell is called the cell divisions and mitosis and called the cell divisions. Two daughter cell are found and the both parent cells and the daughter's cells and contain some the numbers of the chromosomes. Two stage of the mitoses and the jutar phase and M phase. Interphase. It has three subphases. Gap first phase and cell is the metabolically is active and grow itself as phase. 4 DNA and replications takes places and 4 accounts of DNA and 4 cells get the doubled and numbers the increase in the numbers of the chromosomes. Graphs to phase and proteins are the synthesis and cell the growth and contain the DNA and intervenate hairs. Go phase. Check that the well is ready to enter in the M phase or not. This phase also known as the inactive phase. M phase, actual cells division. It has four subphases: pros, prophase, and metaphase, and anaphase, and telophase. Cytokinesis finals and the split of the parent cells and the into two daughter cells. In plant cells there is cell wall, and therefore it undergoes cytokinesis is different forms. मानव संसाधन प्रबंधकीय कार्य क्या है? What are the managerial functions of human resources management? Planning, determining the futures and the parents' needs of organizations and make the resources available. Organizing refers to the providing works or divisions of works between the individuals and groups, grip, authority, and responsibilities and accountabilities employed. Staffing refers to the recruiting and the selecting and trainings and the developing to employ for the organization's goods goals. Directing refers to leading the motivating and guiding employees to achieve organization's goals. Controlling refers to give the feedbacks and the corrections of wrong things and are the rewards and for the good and perform. Discuss the operation functions of the humans, the management. Rescue, it is the identified the rescues of the manpowers in and the organizations and identified the sources of manpowers and make them available. Development refer to provide training education to the selected employees to improve the performance in the futures and because of the changing technology. The compensation and refers to the selectings of the wage for the different categories staff. Integrations refers to the combines activities related to the managing employees to the developed and the charity and workplaces cultures. Maintenance refers to the design, safety, and medical care plans, welfare action for employee. Operation function of HRM, inlager and maintenance and procurement, development, compensation. Faru Shakta and the mention in the 10th and the mandate. Rigveda's initiative about the four and nirvanas and I see the Brahmins and the literatures and the Vaishyas and Sudras. Direct principle of state policy. Article under part 4 and we have adopted and fourth the constitution but the originally it is the form spans not the enforced cables in the court of law. The prime स्वामी विवेकानंद के अनुसार शिक्षा का उद्देश्य पर्पस ऑफ द एजुकेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्वामी विवेकानंद द प्राइमरी एंड राइज ऑफ द एजुकेशन इज द स्पिरिचुअल्स. The purpose of the education, according to the Swami Vivekananda, primary and aims of the education is the spiritual and grateful and the development, and but this does not and mu and that he did not the advocate and the mutual and prosperity and physical well manifestations. Article 38 to secure other social orders and for the and provisions of the welfares of peoples and by the securing the justice and social equalities and the politics. August Kante. Kante's philosophers and was also and known as the X-ray, known as the faith of the sociologies and worms in the explained society. Branch study of the human's behavior. One fathers and quarter of the Swami Vivekananda. Education is the manifestations of perfections already in man. Belur Mutt. Belur Mutt founded by the Swami Vivekananda and the symbolized the unity of all the Halages and locations are the hug. Ajay Hasia case. Ajay Hasia was the Khalid and Mayat case. In this the case and the suppressed court and inspected and what is the alu and the Part 4 of the Constitution. Authorized Part 4 of the Constitution. Our authorized Part 4 of the Constitution. Right 3 importance of the society. Theoretical society. Help of the developed the healthcare society and practical society provided the shape to the gratuities and general help in the administrations. Ramakrishna Paramahansa, born 1836, he was a sant and was the founders of the Ramakrishna orders of work of monk and regarded as the spiritual founders of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti means learn and the devotions to God and his the creations respected and the case per all the unities and beings and natures. Yoga's main unit. Why have the constitution markers include the provision of the DPSP separately in part 4th and not in the part 3rd of the constitution? Indian constitution DPSP is the separately givings in the past 4th and not in the part 3rd of Indian constitution because DPSP are not institution as they the combined and be unforcables and in the cant of law. FRS stabilized and the political democracy while DPSP established wealth and social democracy. DPSP are the directive for the quant and in the happily it is the a heap show particular goals. If there is other law in the violence and the structures principles and thus the code do not have the powers of declares it is the involved and the unfortunately and but it is not always the necessary and that we state have the resources the execute it god discuss the approach of Swami Vivekananda to propagate the Indian freedom struggles. When Vivekananda arrived at the nationals and seen India was the Navy and free the centuries of the colonials and the exploitations. He played major roles in the gradually India's the nationalism and sentiments in 1920 and the centuries and thought follow. His spears and helped to world the Puri in the India and Calcutta's and the religious heritage and organs and them organized and them to the declares there the identified. He supports the India's independence heart. He believed that India is the blessed and periodicity of land of virtues. He derived a powerful speech at the Parliament of the World and Religions in Chicago. In that, he declared that the Mother India's will the autonomy and independence. Elaborated the tastings methods of sociology. Sociology is the scientific study of the society, and the human societies is the laboratories and for the society, and there the tested and method of society in historical method by the studying history and the historical books and like the Vedas and Upanishad, Mahabharata, Ramayana, observations and conclusions. Its budget is broad. Comparative method can objective questionnaires and interviews or the survey in done in the different societies and couples difference and humans field method rather than only the interviewers and them it is the better to live and the destroyed the nature society by living in the between thus examples Browning, Slow and Melly. Melly were studied to bring up in the Tobrand Island. Define welfare state and why India opted for being the welfare state. कल्याणकारी राज्य को परिभाषित कीजिए और भारत ने कल्याणकारी राज्य बनने का विकल्प क्यों चुना. वेलफेयर स्टेट इट इज़ द कंसेप्ट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट इन द वेल एंड द स्टेट प्लेस एंड विटल्स एंड द की रोल इन द protections and promotions of the continuous and social well-being of it the citizens and it is the salters to very democracy in the society and consequence spheres. Under the article 38 it is the mentions to the secures are the social orders for the promotion of welfare purpose by the securing and justice society in economically and the practical politically it is provided the various and provisions like the equals opportunities and for every the citizens example equals paid for equals works and better men and women. Continued it is focus on the global it is focus on the required and global responsibility for the mass for those who are not averse to the evils and because the fundamental required and so for better age we need welfare state in India because after independence these inequalities and was the scene in India weeks serious and needed states and interventions to comes all the state of the Missouri and to the have opportunities because the constitutions makes where the aware of all those and fact to they realize the need of the welfare state. Government have the space in a socialistic approach for the better nuts of the people's conductions to develop the national as other whole we need other uplift all the sections of a society. Match the following मिलाएंगे. Narmada Valley. Narmada Valley is related to hunting and gatherings and Magdas is related to the first big kingdoms and Garo Hills, early agricultures. And Indus and its the tributaries, the first side. Ganga Valley and cities about 2500 years ago. Question number second. List one major difference between the manuscript and the inscriptions. Manuscripts. The old book written by the hands and are called the inscriptions and they are the usually written on the palm sleeve or on the specially prepared and trunk of either trees and known as the birk which and grows in the Himalayas. Inscriptions are written on the hand surface and such as the stones or metals. Question number 30. Return to the Rasidas. Questions and can you the things and of the some answers do. Rasida's questions was how and could anything and what had happened many years ago and there are various ways which people and now about the past. Can you think of the some answer it? The remains left by the early man in the forms of tools, weapons, and poetries and jewelries. After man had learned the arts of the writing, he wrote on the leaves, sparks of trees, and even on the hard materials. We have been able to read the sculptures of thus the pupils in many cases. Question number 30. Make a list of all objectives that the archaeologicals and may find which of those could be the made of stone. The archaeological studies the remains of the buildings made of the stones and bricks, paintings and sculptures. They also dig in under the surface of earth to found tools, weapons, pots and pen, and the ornament and coins. Tools and weapons could have been and made of stone buildings and were also made of stones. Why do you think an ordinary man and women did not generally keep records of what they did? The ordinary man did not keep the award of the what they did and because they did not know and how to read and write and there are the specialized and class of pupils called the scribes, scripts who recorded all events. Describe it list two ways in which you think the lives of kings and would have been different and from those of farmers. King. The king led a luxury life. He made all the decisions for the society and looks after their the welfare. They had the armies in war. Farmers they worked and very hard to grow and crops for the pupils and they led and the ordinary lives and where they could and the verilies and fulfill their needs. On the trails of the earliest pupils. What was radicalism? Politics radicalism. And what was Bolshevik ideology? The political radicalism question. Political radicalism solution. What is political radicalism? It was and the uprising by the spark takes slides spectralized. It was a mm, it was an uprising by the Spartacist and leaks against the Weimars and public this the leaks demanded other Soviet style government based on the Bolsheviks ideas and the Weimars and republics crushed and this uprising with the help of the wars and veterans organizations called the Free Crops and Sparkles letters the forms the Communist Party of Germany and the Communist and Socialist both wanted the political radicalism against the Hitler's rules. Vladimir Sletin. Vladimir Sletin was the leader of the party, and Lenin thought and that in the representative society like the Tsarist Russia's the party should be the declines and the should and controls the numbers and the qualities of it is the number members. They wanted to the transforms Russia society through the revolutions. Nuremberg and the tribunals and the sentence only seven leading Nazis to death. Many others and were the imprised of the life and the allies were not in favors of the harshest punishment to Nazis as they felt that the rise of Nazi Germany and could be the party and tracked back to the Germany experiences at the end of the First World War. In Russia, most industries. Question number 10. State the verdict and the Nuremberg and tribunals. Why did the alliance and avoid the harms and punishment का Germany? और में on which social factors contributed to the Russian revolutions? आंसर देख लेते हैं.